What's up, Skalez Krew? Welcome back. This week, we're going to talk about one of the top-rated LGBTQIA reality series on YouTube. We're going to talk about the characters. We're going to talk about the highlights. We're going to talk about their adventures. And we're even going to get into a little bit of drama. And you're catching this on Sunday. And this coming Wednesday is their reunion for season 4. So, I'm going to get you caught up a little bit, give you my opinion a little bit, because I think it's a great show. And hopefully you guys will tune in, and make sure that you do tune in to our new show, Queer Ear, because some of those particular cast members just may make an appearance on the show. So without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome back, Skalez Krew. It's me, Jerron, aka J Leave, and once again, thank you for tuning in to the Review It All Season 2. This week, we're gonna get into a little bit of reality, chasing dreams in reality. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, I'm actually talking about the franchise Chasing Reality, right here on YouTube. Okay, these guys have several franchises. Okay, they have Chasing Dallas, Chasing Atlanta, and they also have a new series called Lovers and Friends, where two male friends are hooking each other up with someone, finding their match or mate, and the viewers get to actually vote on who they think the person should go out with. Pretty cool concept, pretty cool idea. It's a very cool franchise, let me let you know that. First and foremost, they are an LGBTQIA centered production company. So basically what they do is they do reality TV shows that are really reality related, not scripted, but reality. You know, they stand above the rest from a lot of other so-called LGBTQIA reality shows on YouTube. I'm not gonna get into it, but let's just say some folks still got a long way to go. Anywho, they really have changed the game, so to speak. Like, you don't really see many LGBTQIA shows that are featured strictly around these characters, especially black men. You know, let me throw that in there. Especially with black men. You don't really see a lot of shows, period, that showcase the positivity of black men. And this show does that. Yeah, they have their issues, their back and forths. Who doesn't? It's life. But at the end of the day, this show really does help highlight these gentlemen. And I've seen their careers kind of like take off from this show. So I know that the guys and gals behind Chasing Reality, y'all on to something. And it's big. God done gave y'all a talent. Y'all make sure y'all continue to keep using that. Anywho, what I mean by change the game is they have pretty much, you know, they changed the game for the LGBTQIA reality shows on YouTube. They changed the game. I mean, they started out, you saw a lot of other people who had already had their shows or other shows that were coming after their the Chasing Reality first seasons of Dallas and Atlanta, and you started seeing people, you know, pop up with other shows here and there. I'm not naming any shows. But you started seeing people pop up with many other shows and whatnot, and it was just like, But I paid attention to the Chasing Reality brand way more. It was because their storylines were actual real stories. They actually had some things going on. It wasn't just the typical gay drama that you see, especially with gay black men. It wasn't just the typical drama. Yes, again, they did have their drama, and we're gonna get into that. But it wasn't your typical gay male drama, or always consistently like you see on other shows. Anywho, and it kind of broke the mold for reality TV, so to speak, in general, because, like, again, you don't see a lot of shows that are centered around black men, nor do you see a lot of shows that are centered around black LGBTQIA men that are not stereotypical, and this is not that, you know. So not only have they done all of that, they're also the number one. I'm gonna say that again for some of y'all in the back. Let me just say that for y'all in the back. They are the number one rated LGBTQIA reality series franchise on YouTube. And the Chasing Atlanta brand, which is what we're gonna be talking about this week, help break that mold. Trust and believe. Now, in the time that I have been watching the actual show, and I have become a fan of the show, I actually have. You know, there's nothing wrong with actually being a fan of normal human beings that actually are doing something positive and making something out of themselves and doing something with their lives. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. So I am a fan of theirs. You know, we'll get into the cast members in a little bit later, but I am a fan of the show, and I'm a fan of this brand, and I'm a fan of some of the characters on the show. Some I don't care for it too much, but it's nothing really personal. It's just kind of what I'm seeing. You know, might be different, but anywho. So, like, there were 4 seasons of the Chasing Atlanta brand. Okay. Now, season 1, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really catch most of it. I caught a few episodes here and there because it was just like I had a lot of other things going on at the time in which that season actually was airing. So I actually did go back and try to catch some episodes whenever season 2 and 3 had come out. You know, season 1. So basically, I can't really say too much about like the actual season itself and what it gave me, but what I can say is the production quality. You could tell that there was something different about this brand, that they were trying to do something a little bit different, a little bit better, you know, and I saw that, so I was like, okay, I want to continue to keep watching this franchise and see what they're gonna do, how they're gonna grow. Okay, so I did that, and season 1, you started to see, like, throughout the season, the production was stepping up a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Then when it got to the reunion, it was just like, you know, there were some things that they needed to work out, and they knew this. And this is not a diss to them, and it's not shade. So they knew this. So they had some things that they needed to work out, and they did that. And then season 2 came around, and you could see the production value had stepped up a little more. You know, to be honest, when you're doing things like this, like when you're a vlogger or a channel owner or an artist, a musician, freelance photographers, videographers, production companies, this stuff is coming out of our own pockets. We have to find sponsors. We have to actually try to get loans. Sometimes we have to actually try to see if we can reach out and get grants, because there are government grants that are available. And you might be learning that a little bit later on this season when we do our show about fiscal finance and how you can make your money work for you, and how you can actually get a hold of free money. And that's coming later on this season. So make sure you stay tuned to catch that, because I got some really good resources for you guys. If you don't already know about them, it'll be great. And if you do, it'll be a refresher, because sometimes you guys forget, because I do. Anyway, like I said, season 2. Season 2 actually started to give me a little more. You know, I started to get more into the characters. I started to get more into their storylines and the plots and whatnot. And it was just, it started to, like, it grasped me. And I was like, okay. And I liked some of the characters. They actually they brought on new characters from the first season, and other characters didn't make it to the second season. And from some of the shows that I watch, it's kind of a good thing that they didn't. Just saying. Moving on. Yeah, that second season was dramatic, but it made sense. and it started to show that this brand was actually wanting to tell a true story, but a real true story, not something scripted, you know? So then we move into season 3. Season 3 was when we got introduced to a lot of new characters, so to speak. Some returning characters and some vets. Now, there are some vets that are still with season 4, sticking it out. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to y'all. And then there are some returning characters in season 4, and there are some new characters in season 4. And, you know, that's gonna be, you know, yeah, well, anyway. Anywho, season 3 actually started to give me an intrigue. It gave me mystery, it gave me suspense. It left me with cliffhangers and sitting on the edge of my seat waiting until the next week for the next episode to air. It was just like, when this shit coming on again? I gotta see this again. And when I knew it wasn't coming on again, what was I doing? I was thumbing through the old episodes in the old seasons, just getting reacquainted with everything that I may have missed the first time watching it, or just watching it for the hell of it and getting my kicks. You know what I'm saying? It was so great, you know what I mean? So, but season 3 started to show me that there was a line not drawn in between the cast members, but just a line that was drawn between, how do I say this? A line drawn between humility and outright arrogance. I said what I said. But season 3 started to show me that with some of the characters, you know, and it was just like, okay, I wonder. That's all. Nothing else. Just I wonder. So continuing to watch season 3, as the drama started to continue to unfold, it was like, wow, okay. So now not only is there a line drawn between humility and arrogance, there's also a line being drawn really literally between the castmates. And at first I was like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Simply because I was, you know, wanting them to do more of a unified effort when it came to the cast members in the show. But you can't really get everything that you want. You know what I mean? You have to, it's what they're doing what's best for the show. But again, it's unscripted, so it's not like they were setting these things up. You know, I don't feel like, you know, I hear a lot of people say production this, production that. It was production. First of all, it was you. Let's be clear, let's be honest. It was you. It wasn't production, it was you. They can't film and put anything in there that you don't say, that you don't do. So with that being said, if you say or do something and they choose to use that footage, say that you didn't say it because it's there on the camera. You know, so yeah. For real. But then at the end of season 3 and I saw the reunion, it was like, yo, what y'all doing? Season 2 reunion, I saw it pop off like that and I'm like, man. So then I didn't see certain cast members in season 3 and I was like, oh, okay, it don't like it's gonna pop off like that. Yeah, they had their arguments and stuff like that, but I didn't think it was gonna really pop off like that. Then the reunion happened and it was like, oh, okay, what am I watching? Is this something just like the rest of them? Because I thought this was progressing because the production was stepping it up. But I was like, what's going on with the cast? Now looking back, I see. If you want to know more, you watch the reunion. You know? But season 3, I was just kind of floored and I was still interested and I was still very much so a fan of the actual series because I started watching the Dallas series. Right after Atlanta went off and Dallas premiered, I was watching it. You know, I'll get more into chasing Dallas in another review simply because that was actually something I thought about doing later down the road because I want to actually see this next season, which is called The Retreat. I'm ready to see it because it looks like it was going to give a lot. Now the girls in Dallas, they turn. They turn. They cut up. They cut up. But I like it because they still know how to maintain, even though it gets a little wild in Dallas. That's Cowboy Country. Yeehaw, ping, ping, ping. So, yeah, another time, another place. But like I said, after season 3, I was just kind of like floored, and like, oh, what in the world is going on here? But then season 4 came out, and it was like, Season 4 has stepped up with the storylines, the cast, their appearances, and focusing on exactly what it was that they're doing and the entrepreneurship of what these young men were actually chasing. And it was just like, okay, I'm back in hard now, harder than I was before. And the season, oh, we getting ready to talk about that. The whole shebang. And the production, they truly stepped it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it went from being like normal green screen to like major studio green screen. You feel me? Like major studio green screen, you know? So it was just like, well, damn. They have stepped it up, and it's not that I didn't think that they would. I didn't expect any less, you know. So it was just like, yeah, I'm hooked in now because I'd rather watch this than I would like Love and Hip Hop, some of the Real Housewives franchises. I mean, it's getting to the point it's the same old thing. But with this particular show, something different every single time. It might be the same old issue that's always the elephant in the room, or that's the pressing concern. Some girls be getting that Madam CJ Walker hot comb press over concerns, and they don't really say anything about it when they just really should express themselves and say something. But you know, hey, people are people. They do what they do. Everybody don't live like you. Okay, so let's get into the cast now. Prior seasons in the cast, you had like Akeem, Devon, Lyric, Montel. Hey, Montel. Some people call him Messadini or Messalini. His name is Gardini. I don't call him that. I'm just going based off of what I've seen. You know, I just don't shoot the messenger. I just report what's sick. You know, and then we also had Sky. Now these were all cast members from seasons 1 through 3. You know, not including the cast members that I'm getting ready to go over now. But I did want to kind of mention those cast members because they were important to the, you know, growth of the franchise. So, you know, shouts out to them. I actually am connected with a couple of them on social media. You know. And I also see some of them doing other roles as cast members on other shows. So, you know, they're still doing their thing, so big up to them. A lot of them have their own YouTube channels. I know Devon is actually a great cook. I've seen his food. I've never tasted it. I've seen it though. And so, yeah, like, hey, bruh, keep doing your thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's get into the season 4 cast. Okay, we got Miss Lauren England, Miss T.S. Little Kendra, we got Rico with the K, we got Oliver Twixt, we got Cameron, we got Dominique, we got Travis, we got Troy, we got Q, and we also got Wayne, who's actually a friend of T.S. Little Kendra, so he's kind of like a friend of the show, but he's kind of like a main cast member, so to speak, but a friend of the show at the same time, if that makes any sense. Okay. And then you also have Imani Van Zap. You know, she has a show where she basically, you know, says she's there to help you fix your shit. you know, I can't do it like they do it. I see how they do it. I don't want to imitate it because, you know, that's somebody else's style stealer, and I'm not no swagger jacket like that. So, you know, but good big ups to her. She is actually the show's counselor and life advisor. Like every show, there's a break with her, and it's like 2 minutes long, like a minute and a half, 2 minutes long, and she's basically giving a synopsis of what she's seen from last week and saying who the losers were, who the winners were, you know, the pettiest were, you know. So she's giving them rankings, and she's not just doing it to be petty and to throw shade. She's actually giving them the reasons why and saying that you could do better and you could kind of step it up, so on and so forth, blah 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 blah. So, you know, they got it together. They got it together. Now, Lauren England, she is a hair empress, let's say that. She has her own hair empire, and she's now currently an aspiring recording artist, so big ups to her for that. T.S. Little Kendra, she is also an aspiring recording artist, and her music is pretty good. You know, I see the directions that she's going in, and with the right people on her team, she could be a whole lot better and do bigger and better things. So I really hope that she gets to that level and get someone out there that can actually help her out, because she's a talented young woman, and I think that she should continue to keep pursuing her dream and don't stop. Don't let anybody stop you. We know that you've had some trials and tribulations in your life, but who hasn't? So don't let that stop you. Use that as fuel to the fire inside and keep pushing, ma. You got this. Rico with the K. He's a North Carolina native, you know what I'm saying? And I like that because he's from the Cackalack, you know what I'm saying? Vietnam to be exact. He's an aspiring rapper. When I say aspiring, I'm talking about like aspiring for, like, you know, major label industry type things. We all know I'm not a big label industry chaser. That's not my thing, but a lot of people are, and that's great for them. And he is an aspiring artist. He is dope. The man got some bars. You know, he don't have bars. He has bars. And he's dope. So, like, you need to check him out. That's Rico with the K. I'm just gonna tell you to Google him. You know what I mean? Like, to be honest with you, the whole point of this is me telling you this is so you can go watch the series. So go watch the series and learn more for yourself. It's called Chasing Reality. That's the name of the channel. And the name of the show we're talking about is Chasing Atlanta Season 4. You know. Let's see here. You got Cameron. He's an events coordinator. He throws some major events that goes on in different clubs in the Atlanta scene. In the Atlanta LGBTQIA scene as well. Big ups to Cameron. Fuck cancer. We love you, bruh. Period. Black man, we love you. Alright? That fight that you fighting with cancer, we fighting it with you. Don't never let nobody take that and make that be your crutch. Always use that as something to stand on. Be proud of that, because I've dealt with cancer in my family, and I know what it's like. Dealt with it myself. So, hey. Big ups to you. No, I didn't have cancer before y'all go running and gossiping. I didn't. I had a very, very close scare with cancer. The doctors were running not treatments, but they were running tests on me. They were doing some treatments on me just to be on the safe side. So yes, I have been there, done that, and I understand. So big ups to Cameron. Dominique. Dominique is what we would call a stylist to the stars pet wise, or a stylist to the pet of the stars. He is a pet stylist to a lot of different celebrity clients, you know, grooming and styling, like dyeing their fur and giving them nice fresh dews, and, you know, dressing them in nice little puppy kitty outfits, whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? So big up to Dominique for that. Travis is, he has a YouTube show. He actually is working on some other things in his life right now. He actually at one point was working on, if I'm not mistaken, a clothing line. Please don't kill me, Travis, if that's wrong. But I believe he was working on a clothing line, and he put that to the side because he wanted to work on some other things in his life. And he is doing some really great things in life. So, you know, keep an eye out for Travis. I'm sorry. Oh shit. You know, I would edit that out, but that's life. This is a real show. So let me go back and retract that. Travis from season 4 is actually a vlogger, and he was known for doing some radio work via satellite radio, I believe. And Troy actually had his own line, and he decided to not put it away forever. He just kind of paused it for a second so he could work on some other life things, and those other life things that he's been working on are some really big things. So, you know, big ups to Troy. Troy, I apologize from Jerron out to Troy. I love you. I dig you to death. You're one of my favorite characters. So, well, not characters, but cast members. So, I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay. Oliver Twix. Oliver is, he's a Renaissance man. He's a Renaissance man. He does a lot in entertainment. Big cast member on the show. Does a lot with music. He's got bars. Period. He also has a seasoning brand. This man has a YouTube channel where he interviews, does a lot of interviews with past contestants from America's Next Top Model. Like, he does that on a consistent basis. Like, he works with T.S. Madison, Funky Dineva. You know, he's doing some things. So big up to Oliver Twix. Big up to Oliver Twix. Okay. Q. Q is more of a radio personality, a voice. And he has a YouTube channel. He actually does he had a radio station, and he was out in LA now, and he's still doing some work on air there. So big ups to Q for making those life changes or whatnot. He is on season 4. He was gone for a minute while I was in LA, but then, you know, he slid on back. Slid on back to the ATL for the season, you know. And Wayne, like I said, Wayne, the friend of the show, Wayne is actually T.S. Little Kendra's manager and music partner and business partner. You don't really know much about Wayne other than he's friends with T.S. Little Kendra and he's her manager and business partner. That's all you really know about him. And I would like to get to know a little bit more about Wayne and what makes him tick and why, you know, he comes to the defense of T.S. Little Kendra so well. So we can ready to get into some highlights and everything. So we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be back in just a moment. All right, welcome back after the break. You know, we had to get some things changed and set up right, you know, but we're back. So, welcome back. All right, so let's get into the highlights and the overall review of the show, shall we? So, again, going back to season 4, this is what we're gonna focus on. So, some of the highlights from season 4. Let's start with, you know, their performances. I saw them do some live performances, and these young men and women. These young men and women. I don't want to misgender anyone, but these young men and women are very talented. We have T.S. Little Kendra. She did her thing, rocking songs from her new LP that's coming out pretty soon. Like, her performance was well put together. It was well thought out. I think she did a really good job. I wish that it would have been a little bit more well lit so we could have seen it a lot more, but it was still, for what we saw of it, it was good. So big ups to you and whoever helped you put it together. Big ups to you and them. Kudos, baby. Kudos. We saw a performance from Lauren England. And what's funny is I actually commented on that week when she did her performance, and I was like, you know, and it wasn't a shady comment. It was just basically, it was like, I really wish I had seen you perform more. because you did a really good job, but I really wanted to see that Lauren England that we know is inside and in there. I wanted to see her come out. You feel me? I wanted to see her just bow, hit that stage, you know what I mean? And I get it was your first performance. So I'm not gonna knock you at all. I never was gonna knock you. That was not my intent. But I remember when I did my first performance on stage, I was like 13 when I actually performed on a big stage in a huge auditorium. I was 13 and my nerves were all over the place. But I thought to myself, am I gonna let my nerves show in my performance, or am I just gonna go out here and just do what I gotta do? You know what I mean? Hey, if I'm gonna go back and forth, I'm gonna and you know, go back. Hey, do my thing. You know. So I just kind of did that, you know. And I think and I know it works differently for a lot of people. So, like I said, I don't knock you for it. So I don't take it the wrong way. All right, but you did a good job, you know. But I know you have a performance coming up on the reunion special this Wednesday, so I know you're gonna kill it, and we're all gonna be watching to make sure you kill it. Skalez Krew, make sure you tune in. Okay. We saw Oliver in the studio working on new music. You know, a lot of people say that, you know, only thing he does is like remakes and stuff like that. You know, let the man do him. You know, when he's ready to do his own tracks, he'll do his own tracks. From what I understand, that's what he's doing now, you know. But you gotta start somewhere, you know what I mean? So big up to him, props for what he was doing. So, you know, we saw Rico with the K. We saw him perform at one of Q's showcases in bars. And we also saw him hop in the studio with Oliver Twix. That's Twix with an X. We also saw him hop in the studio with Oliver to hop on a collaboration track. And speaking of collaboration track, you know, that's where some of the drama kind of came in from this season. Collabo or something or another. I mean, I get it. I know what it was, but like, I try not to focus on the drama, even though I'm going to talk about it. I want to focus on it because they were doing so many positive things, you know, and I believe in these young men and women, so it is what it is. Let's see here. You know, it brightens my spirit and my soul when I see people of color doing their thing and fighting the different adversities that life is throwing at them. I don't want to say kids because I don't want to misage them, you know, but they're a lot younger than me. But these young people are amazing. They just keep me in shock, and every week they keep my mouth dropped like. And like I said, it's not about the drama, it's just about what they're doing, you know? I see the conversations and stuff they have, but I also see the people that they're connected to and what they're also doing. And that's the important part for me, is what they're doing. Now, some of their ventures, like I said, Lauren, Hair Empress. You know, she actually went to China this season. You know, it was even during C19. Thanks, sis. But hey, you know, you stay safe. That's all that matters. Yeah, but she went to China to work with her distributors. Now, in previous seasons, well, actually in season 3, we saw her working on her store, you know, and now we see her going global. So even though, Lauren, you might be sometimes a little bit, I don't even want to say aloof, but it's just kind of like blasé and not really in tune with the group, you're still doing your thing, girl. So keep at it. Please believe me. Keep at it. Let's see here. Now, Troy, for his birthday party, hosted a nice little dinner you know, and that particular event was nice for what it was. I say that because, yeah, again, there was some drama, but it was good for what it was. I've already mentioned that, you know, T.S. Little Kendra, Oliver Twix, and Rico with the K, as well as Lauren England, they're all aspiring music artists right now. Oliver is also, like I stated, he has his own seasoning line. So he has some, apparently for what they're saying the girl's making some good seasoning. So she's doing her thing. He, she, it, we, they. I don't want to misgender. I don't know what your pronouns are preferred, the preferred pronouns you want to go by. But, you know, Oliver made some good seasoning. And the girls say it's good. So I'll have to find out how I can get a hold of some of that, because, you know, I like to cook and I have, you know, my own special sauce that no one knows about, but it's coming too. So yeah, like, again, Q, he's written a couple of books, radio, out in LA doing this thing. Troy, again, putting some things together. They have a lot of stuff going that's getting ready to go on after Chasing Atlanta, but you'll have to watch the reunion and follow to find out. I'm not going to give it all away. The point of this review show is for you, the viewer, to go out and do a review for yourself and find out for these things for yourself. I am pretty much a good judge of character and a good judge of food and a good judge of music and a good judge of TV and entertainment. And so I want to offer that to you guys. So make sure you tune in to find out more about them. Now, let's just get into the drama. Okay, so T.S. Kendra, apparently she went to jail. Don't ask me why. Don't comment down there asking me none of that, because that's not my business. You want to know, you ask her, and if she wants to tell you, she will. If not, oh well. Anyway, T.S. Kendra went to jail, and apparently Oliver, Q, and Lauren, the power of three is what they're known as. Mrs. Monty Van Zap considers him to be Destiny's cousin. I got a chuckle out of that when she said that shit. I was like, damn, okay, like, okay. But they were supposed to be helping. Kendra had reached out to them. They were supposed to be helping. They didn't. They had said some things on a live and on a YouTube channel about some irreputed things about Kendra and her going to jail and things of that nature, apparently, supposedly, because, you know, some things were said, some things may not have been said, you know, because I've tried to go back and look at some things and I'm like, well, I didn't really hear that. I get this, but I didn't hear that. So, you know, it's perception. It's perception. So basically, when Kendra got out, Kendra did some diss tracks to let, and it was her way of letting them know she was heard, but Kendra did some diss tracks. I don't think anybody responded. I'm not sure. We hadn't heard any response. And I'm wondering, like, you know, honestly, I think that would be beneficial for both of y'all, or many of y'all, to just go back and forth on wax. I mean, I know you guys have squashed your beef now. Kudos for that. But I would have suggested that just going back and forth on wax. It would have drawn more listeners and more streams from, you know, both sides. They would have been listening, you know what I mean? And then eventually, like in the show, you guys squashed your beef. So hey, you know what I mean? It would have been lucrative for both of you, but I get it. It was more than just about a coin. It was about respect. It was about honor. It was about loyalty, dignity, and it was about a principle that Kendra felt was kind of broken. So, you know, I understand that. But like I said, she did some diss tracks. There was no response. And that was pretty much the bass heavy part of the drama for the season. Now, yeah, we'll get into that. So there were a couple of times where things kind of popped off. They popped off at a Christmas party. Kendra was getting ready to get into Oliver Twix's behind. From what it looked like, I don't know who can fight, who can't, because I've never seen them actually fight, sort of, on the show. And then there was Troy's birthday party, where people paid $30 for lobster plates that they didn't get to eat, except for Travis, your hungry ass. We saw you all go over there. We saw your butt go over there and grab your plate while all the mess was going down. While people are swinging chairs, Kendra, you wrong for that. You could have actually really hurt that man or killed that man. Then you've been right back in jail at your own expense, and it wouldn't have really been worth it. But we'll get into that whole fight. But Travis, you sitting over there eating while everybody over there fighting. Granted, you did become the peacemaker later on, but you was over there eating while everybody was over there fighting. Girl. You still cool though, but that was kind of jacked up. So at Troy's birthday party, it was strange because Kendra had actually, you know, everybody was coming on a cool, calm, collected, one accord. You could tell immediately when Kendra got there was just some heat. She wasn't feeling it. And next thing you know, she said, when they got into the discussion at the table, Kendra said plainly, Oliver, you're safe. This has nothing to do with you. But for some reason, it may have been some editing, that was some things that we didn't see, but for some reason, it turned into Kendra and Oliver. They got things calmed down. They got into a verbal disagreement. Kendra got in his face while Oliver continued to sit there. Mature thing to do. They broke it up. Kendra came back, said a few things. Oliver took out his grill. She jumped up, and next thing you know, she threw something across the room that almost hit Oliver. And then the next thing you know, you see Troy come flying across the room because Wayne came flying to him, and then they're fighting. And then the next thing you know, you see Kendra tossing a chair, hitting someone with a chair. And it was all because the means of communication weren't clear enough. It was too much yelling, arguing, bickering, going back and forth when it should have been just a conversation. Like, one person say something, you don't interrupt, let the next person say something. You don't interrupt, let them rebut. You don't interrupt, let them rebut. Okay, now, everybody has said what they had to say. Let's come to an agreement. Are we gonna agree to disagree and move on from this, or are you just gonna agree not to fuck with each other? Like, make it make sense. You know what I mean? So I just feel like that conversation could have been handled a totally different way. You know, Oliver, you were trying to stay calm. Kendra, you were turned up. Baby, you gotta stop being so turned up. If you want people to listen to you, you gotta come softer. Attract those flies with honey, baby, not vinegar. Come softer. And when I say softer, I'm not talking about in her femininity or anything. I'm talking about come softer with your approach to situations. That's what I'm referring to, okay? So everybody out there that likes to shut up, because that's not what I'm talking about, period. Thanks. Anyway, moving on. After that, a line was drawn. Heavy. But eventually people started to make apologies. There were some healing sessions going on with the axe throwing event, which was kind of crazy. You got people that don't like each other or got tension or could possibly, you know, take an axe and hurl it at the next person. Whoo! I appreciate the try and the effort, but that was crazy. I wouldn't have gone. Even if I didn't have a problem with anybody, I would have gone. Because I'm not going to get hit in the crossfire of no damn axe coming at me at like 30 to 60 miles an hour from somebody throwing it. No, cool. But there were some healing moments there. There were some healing moments at the anniversary party of Dominique and his partner. So there was some times where they were actually healing and helping Kendra get through everything that she was going through. When she had gotten over those things and started getting through those things, that's when she was coming to have those conversations with people. Now, let's fast forward to the finale, the season finale, which was last week. Yeah, it was last week. I am glad to see that everyone mended their relationships at the end of the season. People sat down, people talked, people worked it out. The only people that didn't work it out were Lauren and Tesla Kendra. It was like everybody was talking in a circle powwow, and the next thing, and everybody was getting their issues out and whatnot. But then when Kendra and Lauren started talking, it got super duper heated. And Kendra left. Kendra and Wayne left. You know, Lauren continued on. And that's where they left it. Lauren has some information that she has stashed in an envelope that I think she may be revealing on the reunion this coming Wednesday. So if you really want to see what's going on with that envelope, and it has to do with Kendra and why she really went to jail, you might want to tune in. But at the same time, I don't think it's really that necessary or that big of a deal to try to out her more than what she already has been. You know what I mean? Yeah, we all know she went to jail. I don't think any of us need to know what she went to jail for. I think what we need to know is that she's moving on from that and she's learned from that mistake. Like the rest of it, that's just really petty. And you really don't want to hurt your brand, and you really don't want to tarnish your name and your image by stooping to that type of level. I mean, I get that she was talking, you said she was talking junk about you and then trash you out here. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But rise above that. Look where you at. You got a lot to lose if you get seen by the wrong person and lose them endorsements and everything, and lose your hair company, lose business from clients or whatnot. You got a lot to lose. So I'm just saying, be mindful of that. The damage is already done. Like I said, I think she reveals it on the reunion. We'll have to see, because all I saw was the actual trailer for it. So if you want to see the trailer, look it up on YouTube, right here on YouTube. It's the Chasing Reality, Chasing Atlanta Season 4 reunion teaser. And watch it. Because it went from everybody making up to like, oh damn, what's going on? Oh wow, what's going on? So you got to tune in. Now I'm gonna give a quick synopsis on the cast members, just my opinion. I'm just gonna say the name and I'm gonna say a word that corresponds to it when I think of them. Lauren, I'm gonna use the word potential, and I mean that in the most sincere way. You have so much more potential to grow as an artist, as a business person, and as a woman and a human being. So Lauren gets potential. Tesla to Kendra. The word I use to describe her, or would think of when it's her, it would be pain. Not in a bad way, pain. Pain is because of what she's gone through, but pain is what's helping her get through. If that makes any sense to some of you that know how to think a little deep. Her pain is what has gotten her through. She's rode on the coattails of that pain and eventually has stepped on that pain's back and walked over it, and now she's conquering. So I see the word pain, but that pain to me is kind of like a triumph. So if you want to say pain and triumph, we'll put those two in. Rico with the K, sweetheart. He's a sweetheart. He ain't no punk ass bitch. Like he said in the teaser, similar to that. But he's a sweetheart. We saw a lot going on with him throughout the season with his mom and him, and you know, he was dealing with a lot, so we didn't get to really see him on camera a lot. But for what we have seen of him, he is a sweetheart. He's a very genuine person. He's a Cackalack native, and he does music, and he's got bars. I said biggity bars. Okay, so Rico, sweetheart. Oliver Twix. With him, I would say busy, because he's always doing something. He's accepting an offer here, he's accepting an offer there, he's doing this, he's doing that. You know, sometimes he's even too busy for his busy work, you know what I mean? So, you know, he's busy. And I remember him saying that, you know, he took a step back and realized that everything was taking a toll on him, and he had to kind of just take a break. And I understand that, because when you're doing it by yourself independently, it can be tough and it can weigh on you, so I get it. But that's what I would say with Oliver, busy. Cameron, quiet. And I use that term very tightly because he is a quiet person. He'll speak up when he needs to be, but he just kind of plays his position. He reminds me of Mimi, kind of, from Love and Hip Hop, where she just kind of like watches everything unfold and sits back, you know. But he'll speak up for what's right and what's wrong. You know what I mean? Cameron's grown a lot throughout the seasons. He is a vet, you know, as well as Lauren. She's a vet as well. But yeah, he's grown a lot as a person, but he's quiet. And those are the people that you really need to watch out for, because those are the ones that can really surprise you. And I like that. So I would say Cameron's quiet. Dominique, and this ain't shady, but it's just truthful, questionable. And the reason why I say questionable is because, like, throughout the season, I would see, like, you know, you're befriending everyone, I get, but it was like you get certain information and you bone carry it, and you know that I'm not gonna be like everybody else and call you messy. I just say that's questionable behavior. You're an amazing person. You have a very, 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 very bright career ahead of you, and I like your out of the box fashion sense. So it's no shade to you at all when I say that it's questionable. It's just because I'm going based off of the actual season, not what I know of you personally, but just what I'm seeing from the season is kind of questionable about some of your intent behind some things. That's it. Travis, I'm going to say showcase. And when I say that, I don't mean like he's just like flashy and, you know, center of attention seeking, so to speak. He just has an aura about himself that actually draws your attention to him. He's very poised when he's talking about things, and he's very well educated, as you can tell. They all are. They all are very well educated. Just by the way, I don't want you to think any of them aren't, because they are. Most of them have gone to college. So anyway, no, when he talks, he's very eloquent, you know, when he's speaking business, but then when he's, you know, just kicking it with his friends, he can still have that eloquence, but at the same time, he got that hood in him too. You know what I mean? He's just, his showcase. It's just like his energy, his aura, and his personality just attracts, you know, attention to him. And it's like he has this, I would say, Broadway-esque type of personality. That's what I see. So I would say showcase with Travis. Troy, I would say I see you, or the word that I would correspond you with would be superstar. And the reason I say that is because it's the way you carry yourself. You know what I mean? When you're talking and you're actually doing your green screens and you're doing your scenes and you're talking business and you're being for real, you handle yourself like a superstar. Like, you got it, bro. And then, you know, when you were throwing them hands, it was like you were a superstar champ out there. You know, I'm not advocating violence or fighting, but when you throwing them hands, you was, bruh, superstar, straight up. Q. The word that I could correspond with Q, even though we didn't get to see much of him this season either, is determined. I mean, because he has a way of him about himself that he's determined to get you to understand where he's coming from. He has a lot of determination to push himself to achieve his goals in life, and he's determined to be heard. So I would say determined or determination with Q. Wayne, friend of the show, I would say, you know, quiet. Or no, let me take that back. I would say mysterious, because we don't know much about him. There's a mystery about you, Wayne. We don't know much about you, and I hopefully the next season is season 5, because I know there will be a season 5. Season 5, they'll do more of highlighting more of who you are as well as a person, as well as a cast member. So the show as a whole is basically, in a nutshell, I think it's really an eye-opener for the LGBTQIA community of color. It's showing you that you actually can chase after these dreams that you've always wanted to aspire to achieve. You know, it shows you that nothing is impossible. I mean, these young men and women are working from the ground up, getting it out the mud. Pun to last week's episode. But yeah, they're getting it out the mud, you know what I mean? So like, I can't do anything but applaud, kudos to you guys, you know what I mean? Kudos to Chasing Reality brand, kudos to Chasing Atlanta, your cast, season 4 cast especially. You guys have really opened the eyes and you've changed the game. And I'm not sure about your other viewers, but myself personally, I appreciate it. I appreciate you giving us something that's refreshing and not always something that's messy, filled with drug-related scandals and fights in restaurants and shit like that, like major fights, like throwing plates and all of that, and you having to get kicked out. Like, thank you for not bringing us anything like that. Even though it was at event, the fight at Troy's birthday party, it was in a private venue. It wasn't like, you know, it was other customers in the venue. It wasn't like, you know what I'm saying, they were in a major restaurant. They were actually in a private rental space that they had set up, kind of like a community center or whatnot. So I get it still wasn't a public place, but it wasn't like it was in a doggone restaurant or nothing like that. So thank you for not bringing us that type of reality, and thank you for bringing us something that's actually worth watching and worth So again, thank you for giving us something to look up to. Thank you for giving the youth in the community something to look up to as well. We greatly appreciate it. You as a franchise, the shows, you guys are amazing. The cast, you guys are amazing. You know, I'm gonna definitely continue to be a fan. I'm gonna make sure the Skalez Krew is watching as well. It is the Chasing Reality brand on YouTube, Chasing Atlanta, Chasing Dallas, Lovers and Friends. And we also have Chasing Dallas, The Retreat coming up. So make sure you guys are tuning in to the Chasing Reality brand. You know, give them a shout out, go follow them on Instagram. But you gotta, I'm not giving you their handles, I got them. But if you want them, go watch the show. Go find out who these people are. Learn and grow with them. I have been your host, Jerron Howie, aka J Lee. Thank you so much for tuning in once again, and we are out of here.